Hey there, how's it going? I want you to take a look at this. It's one of the most familiar sights in the world, a bunch of bananas. For most of us, they've always been here, a constant, cheerful presence in our kitchens. They're a staple, simple snack, first food for babies, or the main ingredient in the most delicious bread you've ever tasted. But what if I told you this banana that you know so well is actually an imposter? And that it only sits on your shelf because of a catastrophe that happened almost a generation ago. And this familiar yellow fruit is living on borrowed time. And thus, this is the tale of the Cavendish banana, the banana that should not exist. It's a story that delves into royalty, global disease, and a looming crisis hidden in plain sight. And it's a tale that doesn't begin in a massive plantation. It actually starts in the greenhouse of an English duke. And now, to understand our banana, we first have to look at its predecessor. Imagine a banana, but better. Thicker skin that didn't bruise easy, a richer, sweeter, almost custard like flavor. This was the Gros Michel banana, or Big Mike. And now, for the first half of the 20th century, Big Mike was the banana. It was a star of vaudeville jokes, the reason the United Fruit Company became a global power. It was the taste of the tropics for the Western world. But due to its popularity and success, it's planted the seeds of its own destruction. To meet with global demand, thousands upon thousands of acres of the Gros Michel were planted. But not from seed, from that of a cutting, creating a genetic clone. That means every Big Mike that stood next to one another was an identical clone of the other. And see, in this practice is known as monoculture, when you take the same crop and you reproduce it over and over and over again. But the only thing is, these aren't grown from seeds. There was no genetic diversity. Every single one was a genetic clone. And it was effective. It was efficient. That way you would get the same uniform, perfect crop every single time. But this was creating the perfect storm. In the early 1900s, there was a soil-borne disease that was spreading through the banana heartlands. It was a fungal disease by the name of Fusarium wilt, or more dramatically, Panama disease. And see, this disease's mechanism of destruction was caused by the fact that it attacks the banana plant from its root system, blocking its ability to be able to uptake water, causing a very slow and deliberate death. And unfortunately, since every single Big Mike was a genetic clone of the next, if one was susceptible, they all were. And this disease was relentless. It couldn't be killed by pesticides, and it would live in the soil for decades, making once fertile banana farmland into a banana graveyard. Thus, one by one, from Panama to Costa Rica to Honduras, Big Mike plantations fell. And by the 1950s, the entire banana export industry was on the precipice of collapse. They needed a miracle. They needed a new banana, a banana that was resistant to the plague. And ironically, that miracle had been sitting inside of an English home for over 100 years. And now our story rewinds back a bit, back to 1834. The head gardener for the Duke of Devonshire, a man by the name of Joseph Paxton, acquired a very curious banana plant from Mauritius. He nurtured it in the Duke's magnificent greenhouses at the Chatsworth House. It thrived. He managed to get it to fruit, winning a medal for it in 1835. He named the plant Musa cavendishii, after the Duke's family name of Cavendish. And the Cavendish banana was nothing special at the time. It was a bit bland, and the skin was really thin, so it was very easy to bruise. But it had one hidden superpower. It was resistant to Panama disease, which was completely wiping out Big Mike. And now, from Chatsworth, the Cavendish went on a quiet yet noble journey, being spread by missionaries and traders alike to places like the Canary Islands in the South Pacific. It was a botanical curiosity, but when the Gros Michel finally fell, this one plant would be an entire industry's only hope. And now thus, in the 1950s and 60s is when the big switch came. The once devastated and distraught Big Mike plantations were completely swapped out with the new, resilient Cavendish banana. The global supply chain was saved. And here's the interesting part: the bananas that you buy and consume today are direct descendants of that original banana from the 1800s. Or is it? Because this desperate pivot that the industry surely needed might have made us create the same exact problem all over again. So while the industry was in desperate need of a solution to what was going on with the monoculture that came from the Gros Michel, they ended up doing the same exact monoculture with the Cavendish banana. You see, because the Cavendish banana, just like the Gros Michel, is actually a seedless banana. Every single banana that you see in your supermarket or convenience store is a genetic clone of the original Joseph Paxton Cavendish from 1834. And essentially, we're doing the same thing that we did with the Big Mike. We're cloning, creating that same lack of biodiversity that ultimately led to the demise of the Big Mike. And that lack of biodiversity is a ticking time bomb. And this bomb has a name by the name of Tropical Race 4, or TR4. And in the 1990s, a more deadly version than the original strain that wiped out all of the Big Mikes started going after the Cavendish bananas. Because remember, they're all identically the same. And sadly, it's the same exact story: a soil borne fungus with no cure that lives in the soil for decades. And just like the original strain, it's slowly spreading across the globe. It's already reached banana growing regions of Asia, Africa, and now has been confirmed in South America, the heart of the export industry. There's no chemical cure. There's no replacement waiting in the wings. The Cavendish was the replacement. So what happens now? Are we facing a future without bananas? Well, not necessarily, but we are at a crossroads. Scientists are currently altering the Cavendish banana by genetically modifying in different genes from wild varieties that are TR4 resistant. Essentially creating a genetic variety of Cavendish banana that will be resistant to TR4. In fact, one of those very varieties were just approved for commercial growing in Australia back in 2024. Then on the other side of the spectrum, there are others that are looking into banana diversity. They're searching through jungles and seed banks, preserving hundreds of other banana varieties that most of us have never even tasted, hoping to find the key to resistance, or perhaps a new banana that's worthy of our grocery stores. Thus, the future of the banana may not be just in one single variety, but the return of many. So the next time you look upon a simple little yellow fruit, remember its story and the fact that it's a reminder of the hidden connections in our global world and of the profound vulnerability that can lie behind uniformity. It's a story that started in a Duke's garden and saved an industry from collapse, and now serves as a quiet warning. The humble banana is more than just a snack. It's a living lesson in history, biology, and the delicate balance of the food on our table. It's been amazing speaking with you as always. I'll talk to you again real soon.